Hey guys, Coach90 here, and welcome back to another review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the DX Dragonic Night Wonder Ride book. Now, this is the first official power-up used by Commander Saber for the first quarter catalog. Originally, in the beginning, I said that the Wonder combos are technically their quote-unquote power-up forms, but I was completely proven wrong when both this and King Lion Daisenki were released. Originally, I was on the fence of even getting both this and the other one because I thought both of these books were obnoxious, and I thought that they were a little bit too big or too out of the open like the standard Wonder Ride book. But after absorbing everything and actually putting thought into it, after actually seeing these things in action in the show, I quickly changed my mind and I bought both this and King Lion Daisenki in that big Wonder Ride book pack because I did want to pay for both of these separately. But yeah, anyway, though, let's go ahead and just enough of the small talk and get right into the review. So, taking a closer look here at the Wonder Ride book, here we have a very nice silver kind of titanium like plastic, like this thing was made from solid titanium, and for a comparison with the color on that, here is the titanium Zane minifigure from Lego Ninjago, and as you can see, the color is pretty much the same, just like a metallic-ish silver, comparing that to it. But yeah, I really do love the detail on that. We actually do have a little bit of a red stripe for the inner cover that goes all the way around. That's really nice, and of course these clear plastic pages as well. And on the back here we have the standard Wonder Ride book backing, but the speaker is actually a little bit shaved off. I don't know why that is, because technically, I mean, that really irks me how that's like that. I mean, it's a little bit of a bother, but it doesn't bother me too much. But we have your obligatory QR code right there, our reset button. We have this little switch here that's mostly just used for the functionality of the toy with the sword driver. And then we have just your category 3 buttons, well technically 2, because this one's just a dummy button right there. And of course we actually do have this little notch that's also going to be used for the sword driver for those little stoppers at the end. Taking a closer look though at the actual cover page, as you can see Dragonic Knight, as well as the saber, as well as the dragon rider holding the sword with backhanded like that, as well as he holds the sash, riding around with the giant dragon, or in this case, the dragon version of Guillemon, because, I mean, like, tell me I'm wrong on that. But anyway, with jokes aside, though, this does have some resemblance to the actual Brave Dragon. Let me bring that book back in for comparison. As you can see there, you can see the knight tamed the dragon, and now he's riding the dragon into battle because of the story of the Brave Dragon, but now it's about the Dragonic Knight and his and the beast that he did tame. And of course, comparing the two books together, as you can see, it's roughly around 3 books thick and about 4 tall. But for comparison, though, it is a few inches taller than the actual Wonder Ride book. For a good reason, because this is a bigger book, so comparing that is a little bit on the edge there. And of course, comparing this big book to other big books, here it is next to Zhao Dragon. As you can see, a very massive size difference there. As you can see, from the molding detailing to the very back of the book, like that. But yeah. And of course, I actually do have the pull tab still inside of it because books like these, they make noises no matter how you use them, so you can't exactly just like automatically like open it and then have it just stop where you want it to, because these things are on a spring as it was just demonstrated. So just a slight little push, and there you go. It's just spring loaded. But taking a closer look at the detail though of the inside cover, as you can see, the red part of the inside of the book actually represents the dragon's tail or flames, depending on how you want to look at it, through there. And it just sort of goes into the detailing here as well on the inside of the booklet. I don't think anybody's translated all this yet, but hopefully somebody will find the time to do that, because I mean all of this is pretty much the same with any other standard Wonder Ride book. But right here, though, is where it gets really interesting because we actually do get to see Dragonic Knight, the form, inside these like castle walls with the pillars and the brick texturing right there in this clear plastic window here. And we'll see more of the detail as we use it with the sword driver. But yeah, I really love the detail on this one, though. We also do get the saber text here, Brave Dragon, Dragonic Knight. We have the Dragonic Rider, the flames, so on and so forth. I believe that this is actually the translated... I believe the text here and for the next few pages are actually translating the actual Henshin tune, which is nice. It's very nice attention to detail because the Henshin pages do say what the story is when you use them with the sword driver, so that's nice and all. But yeah. But now that we've got all that out of the way, let's go ahead and pull out the tab here and get right down to the actual noises. So, unlike other Wonder Ride books where the button right here is how you activate the sounds, it's actually done by this little switch. So let's go ahead and just get right into it. A very triumphant little tune there. Hey, this is Gosei Green in the future. Me being a dum-dum, I completely forgot that there are actually 3 synopsises when it comes to this toy. And I just got done filming the review, as you can see here, and I was putting everything away until I realized that I completely forgot about it. So, yeah, I'm going to do this wicked cool, like, transition thing where I'm going to just debut the rest of the sounds, and then pretend like nothing happened, okay? Okay, we're good. And fade out. And there you go. Very nice little description there. Now let's bring in the sword driver and check out the sounds. Yeah, as you can tell, the sword driver doesn't really do anything aside from flashing the colors, as you mentioned there, as I was transferring it from over here back to over there. All the sounds that would normally come from the driver are actually coming in from the actual Wonder Ride book itself. So basically, the sword driver isn't really doing much except for just showing off the flashy colors, while everything else is being used in the actual Wonder Ride book. So technically, you don't even need to have this thing on to utilize the toy pattern of it, aside from probably the lights. So that's actually really nice engineering by Bandai there with that and Jaw Dragon and King Lion Daisenki. So yeah, but anyway though, now that we got the full entire book open, let's go ahead and just take a look at the actual page here, because as you can see, the flames are now transferred out into these next 2 panels here. And as you see, the dragon's tail from the first panel is actually translated all the way out to this bit right here. And finally, we get a more clear shot of Saber in the Dragonic Knight form there with the orange flames just enveloping the background right there. And that's really cool right there. But yeah, there also is the dragon right there, and that's a really nice representation of it through the through the paint detailing there and the details there. But overall, just a really nice little looking little Wonder Ride book page there. My only complaint is that the springs and all the other details of the inside of the book are visible from the inside there. So that's a little bit of annoying, but I can understand that it is clear plastic and they can't exactly just paint over that because that sort of just ruins the effect of it all. I don't mind it too much, but I'm just saying it's a minor little nitpick. And of course, as you can see, during the little Institute, it can't exactly stand on its own because it makes the driver very, very top heavy in that aspect. So yeah, but with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get down to the Henshin. I mean, not the Henshin, the final attack sounds. So there's more than one way you could do this. Let me actually adjust my camera real fast. Sorry about that. I really need to get a new tripod. Okay, there we go. Now, there actually are a couple of ways that you can do this. Now, you can do it the standard way, which is this. Now, you can do it like that with just the sword, or you can do this. Now, there are actually two ways you could do the Hisatsugiri, and that was like the way I just showed you from the handle bit right there, or you could just hit the back of the book page of the main book cover once. If you do it twice, you get the Geki. And that's pretty much it for the final attacks. There is one more functionality, and I find this really, really cool, and why you should really get this, is that if you hit the back of the book 3 times, you get something pretty good. Now, that actually is a separate function, because basically when Saber is in this form, he can not only access the sword driver and use his powers to all of his capability, but he can also summon the dragon from his Brave Dragon state, basically. So he can summon that into the battlefield and ride on it to take out the enemy, similar to how Zhao Dragon has the book that lets him summon multiple dragons to destroy his enemies. So I think that's really nice, and I love how they incorporated both the singing portion of the Henshin tune as not only into the Henshin tune, but as a completely separate functionality to actually summon the dragon. So that's a really nice little that's a really nice little thing that you can do with all of that. Now, one thing I do have to say is that while this thing does have the same shape and size as the other Wonder Ride books, you can't actually use these in the Dogogen Gekido, the Fusoken Hayate, or the Ojuken Susune, because the top part here, it's actually raised a little bit, so using it in any of those weapons will render it pretty much useless. But since it does have the track system, you can technically use it with the Caliber buckle / Psycho buckle, like that, and still like get the same results. But I highly suggest you don't do that because it's actually a little tricky to do, as you can see on camera. And because I did knock down my Gosei pink key in the process of actually doing that, because as you can tell, hitting the button doesn't really work, so I had to actually bring in the Kurayami to actually get the button in there. But yeah, you can technically use it with this, but it's not recommended that you do it because it's just a mess of sounds and plastic. Speaking of a mess of sounds, And one more. Now, I already stated this in my Caliber review, like how, my Jao Dragon review, like how the Sword Driver labels Jao Dragon and any of the other big books as mythical beast or a mythical or giant animal or whatever. The Caliber, the Kurayami only labels Jao Dragon as Jao Dragon. Meanwhile, with the other big books, it just labels it as giant monster. So yeah, it basically just labels it as such, and there's no real change in the sounds. For another example, I'm going to bring in King Lion Daisenki here. And it just says the same thing. So yeah, instead of wasting time and doing the same thing for King Lion Daisenki when I do that review, I figured I might as well just get it out of the way here. So yeah. Now, in terms of compatibility and, of course, the overall just look and aesthetic of it, I do really love this Wonder Ride book. At first, I was on the fence about it, like I mentioned earlier, because I felt like it was a little bit unnecessary and obnoxious. But it does serve its purposes in terms of it being a power-up form and having a lot more compatibility with the actual driver of the season and having going and beyond with it. And hopefully we get to see more books like these in the future as the series progress. In case anybody was asking if I'm ever going to pick up Primitive Dragon, honestly, I think I'll just pass on Primitive Dragon because I'm not really interested in it, and mostly because I feel like it's not really a good power up to say. It's another losing yourself or losing control power up, like we've seen in Build and in 01. Same thing with my reasons with Trinity. It doesn't really look like that good of a Wonder Ride book, in my opinion. But hey, my opinion matters less than yours. But in all honesty, though, I really do love this Wonder Ride book, and hopefully you guys can pick it up yourself. I am going to leave a link in the description below for Tokullectibles, like I always do with these reviews, because that's where I'm picking up most of my Tokusatsu stuff as of right now. This including both the Saber stuff and coming soon in March, the Zenkaiger stuff. So, yeah. But if you guys want to check out Amazon and Mercari and eBay and all those other websites, feel free to do so on your own time because I'm not really sponsored and I'm only doing this to help support them. But be very wary of their pricings. And with that being said, if you guys like this review, feel free to leave a like and comment for more videos. And next week, we are going to be covering the last item in the Saber collection as of right now, and this being